Good Thursday morning, all. The song is called All Caps by Mad Villain. Let's listen for a minute. I'm going to talk a little bit about the New England Patriots and their antics on and off the field. Kind of interesting things going on there. But in one game, they went from being kind of the elite team to kind of weird. In the game, first of all, we had Tom Brady scrambling towards the end of the first half and goes in for a slide and from all accounts seemed to go feet up. This, by the way, is very special old pale Ian J. Get off in the morning. It's evening to me, so drinking at 8 in the morning is pretty normal around here. Now, after seeing the play, his leg was definitely up. I'm going to go back to one of the bad guys in the NFL, Ndamukong Suh, when he crotch kicked Matt Schaub a while back. His leg was up. And not only was it up, it went to and through the crotch of Matt Schaub. Cheap, dirty, all of the above. Tom Brady was pretty much by himself until a defender came and the slide, kind of a hook slide in baseball, but the leg was up. And it seemed real likely that he was trying to kick the defender. But an argument could be made both ways. We all know when you slide, in baseball especially, but in all sports, especially the quarterback is a ball runner, when he slides, tries to get down, feet first, and slide. So a leg, anything over here, is kind of out of the norm. But Brady can get away with it. They get away with a lot of things like that in the game. The offensive line does some shady things, but every offensive line does, so I'm not going to get on that. The slide may not have been necessary, and Ed Reed kind of, it's fine, whatever, if that's what he wants to do. But, there are better ways to handle that. He was already down, wasn't going to get any more yards, and if he's trying to hurt Ed Reed, then, there's a different discussion there. After the 28-13 loss to those Baltimore Ravens, just a minute, folks. Let me step out of here for a minute. After that 28-13 loss to the Ravens, Belichick did not make himself available for the post-game interview. Now, I touched on it in the first video that I posted to YouTube, through Facebook and all that. I said that I'll give players the benefit of the doubt for any antics they have if they produce on the field. And I said the same thing as far as the coach. So I would want to give Belichick a pass on that because he's a great football mind, minus Spygate. And his record speaks for itself. This was supposed to be the 6th time in the 12 years that they make it to or through the Super Bowl. Now, I was saying again in the video that you see the confetti drop, the team is excited, they talk to the players, present the trophy, do a few commercials, pay some bills, and then they'll go to the other locker room, and players and the coach especially will give those same pet answers that we're used to hearing professional sports players give. You know, we laid it on the line, come up a bit short. They're a great team, they're a hell of a team, this, that, and the other. But if you notice, even during wins, playoff wins or wins to get them to the Super Bowl, the Patriots, Belichick seems to be kind of stodgy and 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 off-putting. And the wins, he'll maybe give the opponent some credit. Oh, they're a great team, but he's been a few words barely pieced together and not really much. So I could expect him and a loss to be even more so like that. I just didn't think he'd take it to the point of not being there for the interview at all, or whatever he did. I'm sure he may have said something later or the next day or whatever, but it seemed like it would be incumbent on him to make himself available to discuss the game. And this was a game where New England had the lead, uh, 3-0. Baltimore scored a touchdown, making it 7-3. New England comes back with 10 points and made it 10-3, then 13-3, 13-10. And from there, 13-7, I'm sorry, not 13-10, 13-7, and then the last 21 points for Baltimore's. There's no need to be off-putting. You've got a great team, you've got a great quarterback, and if it wasn't your time, you know, you've got to make yourself available to explain why it wasn't, quite simply. The foot up slide of Tom Brady can let go. Belichick not giving an interview again for whatever reason. As long as he's producing it, and I'll give him a pass on that. Others may not. Uh, you ever made the mistake of going to the bottom of a web page? And I've got some information. I want to give a quick thank you to Bleacher Report for a little bit of the information I got on that. And if you've ever scrolled to the bottom of one of these pages, you'll see that people have varying opinions on a whole host of things. I never want to be one of those guys that give my view on something at the bottom of a page, because those really aren't worth a damn anyway. Uh, Real quick, anybody wonder what the number was? $67,663. That, in my opinion, is about how much money I've made in my lifetime. So that's that. And it adds up with every check, kind of like a tote board in a telethon. This is to show a lot of my friends that are more conservative that, hey, um, $250,000 a year. I made that much since I was 16 working at Taco Mile. $67,663 and all the jobs I've had. If I made $250,000 a year, you could have 10% of it in taxes, more. Me and Miranda, we live a very simple life, and we get by on what money we do make. Don't take this as left-wing rhetoric. I'm by no means liberal. I'm not even going to bore you with the fact that I'm the attention-seeking middle guy that listens to both, but would probably still lean conservative. There should be no need for entitlements, and if you do need them, they should be available to you for a calendar year. Get off of them, like I did. My 20s, I didn't need to work. I knew I got food coming in with food stamps. And if I needed to hit a hustle, that's what happened for money. In the 30s, none of that. Get out there and get yours. That's for help. And a lot of people in my age range and in my racial bracket don't need help. Just want a handout. Back to football. The last thing I want to talk about here is what was posted after the game by the wife of our own. I am an Oklahoman, and somehow so is Wes Welker. His lady, Anna Welker, uh, kind of to paraphrase her, the mini quoter, she mentioned about going to Ray Lewis's website where where his life includes 6 kids by 4 different women, and he was acquitted for murder. These are her words, and he paid the family off, and sarcastically rips him as a real role model or a Hall of Fame guy. She later recanted and apologized. But I am of the ilk that if you said something, that's what you meant. If you said something and then apologized later, you meant the former and not the latter of the apology. You meant what you said. Where I don't get so much on her is a piece of what she said in the apology. She let competitiveness get in the way, but to tell you the truth, you know, he may have been involved in a murder rap. His boys killed the guy. And where Ray Lewis erred was in giving misinformation, super cool word for lying, to the police about their whereabouts or their involvement in it. He was fined, put on probation. Now, him being an NFL player coming right out of Miami going into the NFL could have had an impact on that, because you think a nigga like me, if I lied about something what my homeboy did, especially if it involved a murder, could very well be implicated and charged with murder as well. That's fine. But again, she apologized. But let's take those individually. 6 kids by 4 wives. You've been married? On each successive one, you may think this might be the lady. Not a lot of that baby daddy thing is all the guy. It takes two to tango. It takes two to make a thing work. Was asked me and her. It also takes two to fuck it up. Acquitted for murder. We talked about that. Paid the family off. I'm a big believer in the fact that if you pay a family off, you are in fact guilty. We'll not bring up a certain king of pop, but to give some money in his case, and we know in Michael Jackson's case, upwards of $20 million, you have just put this family in another tax bracket. Few tax brackets, probably from where they came from. Something's not right. Something's not right there. Okay, she apologized. She said she let the competitiveness get in the way. That's cool. Why not doff your cap to this guy? Good game, Ray. Move on. He knows what he's done in his past. We know what he's done in his past. To timestamp it with his passage into the next Super Bowl is kind of cheap. Mixed with Belichick's interview and Tom Brady's slide, we've got the makings of a turning point in the Patriots going forward. I'll be real interested to see next year how they are looked upon by the league. They always seem to be that upper crust team, with Indy just almost getting in there until Peyton left, it being New England alone, and then everyone else, Cleveland, Arizona, whatever. So will that have a profound effect on them next year?